This is Bioshock 2. We're on Xbox Series X. I will note that while this does put out a native 4K resolution at 60 FPS with auto HDR support, sadly I've got to record this through my PVR, which is a 1080p feed, just due to the fact that the game basically turns off the DVR system that I typically use to record. So this is right off the bat of Bioshock 2, kind of past the initial opening segment. So what this is you're basically, well, I don't know how you would describe it necessarily, but you're a bit of a precursor to the whole Big Daddy kind of thing. Things didn't go well. You're now coming here. Well, there's been a bit of a time jump, and you're dealing with the current situation at hand. So while the original release of Bioshock 2 featured the magic of multiplayer, this is a straight up single player game. Once again, plasmids are a part of it, and this does have some interesting extra content that I think expanded the world of Bioshock in some interesting ways, so you might want to enjoy that as well. So anyways, it looks quite wonderful visually. I think it's a very impressive sort of experience, and also quite different, I want to say. As I understood with the last time I took a look at this game, I guess there's actually quite a few people that did enjoy this one, because I thought it was pretty cool. But, yeah, Bioshock 2, definitely an interesting title. Once again, seeing the world of Rapture, unlike, Infinite, where you went to the clouds. This one, once again, had you enjoy this really intense, interesting sort of worlds where things are, expanded upon in many creative and interesting ways. Once again, kind of retaining the horror element of the experience, but at the same time being, I want to say, a little bit more action-packed in comparison to what you experienced the first time around. But yeah, once again, quite an interesting, world that you get to visit, with many unique locations and setups for you to kind of battle through and try to survive as you work through this story. Oh, it's kind of lovely. And yeah, I think it's just kind of a very creative follow-up to Bioshock. I mean, obviously it's a little bit different as well. I'm just kind of really enjoying the wonder and the detail of the environments. I always love that about the Fallout series. What is that? 1540? Oh, it directly tells you how exciting, right? But, there's a sense of kind of figuring things out, but at the same time, it very much is a linear sort of shooter experience that you are working through. You get a series of different weapons and situations and battles that you'll have to do along the way as you deal with the messed up people that now reside in this once wonderful and prosperous place under the sea, the land of Rapture, which obviously was a bit more, I guess, lovely back in its heyday, and now you're just kind of dealing with this really lost, desolate place. I wonder if we can actually hit that at all from here. Ooh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's just kind of a really wondrous landscape that you get to see in such detail. And I love the intricacy of all the little areas and stuff, and how kind of it's been presented. And once again, we do have a bit of a, I guess you could say, a guide, as to say.
City to life. Listen, my name, it is Tannenbaum. I know who you are, and I am in much need of your help. Please, find me in the Atlantic Express train station.
Love the shocking there. But yeah, there's a lot of different things to kind of find along the way, things to discover, hidden secrets, lots of little items to kind of loot and stuff as well. But it very much is a linear setup, and I think kind of a fun one at that. They definitely give you a little bit more creativity in regards to, some of the stuff you're able to take advantage of while you're battling. Oh no, my saw drill is out. But yeah, it should feel directly on brand with the initial release in the series, while just kind of offering and increasing the scope of what the world is. And it really does take things in a new, fresh direction that I thought were kind of interesting, exciting, and a little bit mysterious again. It's very much a different... Well, the guys had better days. Or is that Rosie? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's definitely a surprising take on things, and I think a good one at that, you know? I just remember it being, like, iffy from people, but I guess, you know, this actually was quite enjoyed, and I think with that, it definitely earned that as being something a little bit unique. I, myself, really did enjoy the multiplayer, which you sadly can't experience these days, because I thought it was actually kind of really cool and creative, being something, you know, really fresh in terms of the style of the multiplayer and just the modes and everything like that. Definitely different, because I think Bioshock actually could handle that quite well for that type of experience. But anyways, it's a very interesting experience to take part in, and definitely worthwhile if you've never played the Bioshock titles. You can, of course, jump into this one freshly, but I think you'll, to a degree, appreciate the world a bit more if you have the experience of the first Bioshock game. But of course, if you want to jump into Bioshock 2, I don't think you'll necessarily be held back by any degree by just jumping into this one. And then, of course, past that, you have the magic and the excitement of Bioshock Infinite, where you take to the clouds, and I think that's definitely worthwhile. So yeah, once again, you know, there's certain elements of how things kind of wrap up, and of course some challenges along the way with the enemies you have to battle and the things you have to face as you try to survive and not die. Oh geez, you are causing some issues with me, lady, because while you feel more powerful, you're not necessarily the toughest thing out there, that's for sure. Yeah, I've been using my first aid kit, thanks very much. You know, that banner would have popped up way too late if if I wouldn't have used my health earlier when I first got attacked. Anyways, that's kind of that battle. I think they run off. But yeah, there's just lots of little things to see, and it's a cool environment because it's this place that is under the water, so far down into the crushing depths that you're able to look outwards at times and really see some truly great sights and things along the way, which is just kind of fun. I think it retains enough of its original horror element to still be, you know, definitely on brand with the series. But again, it just feels a little bit more, I guess you could say, action focused as you're rolling through it, which isn't at all a bad thing. I mean, like, it's so cool. Ooh, cool. And then the spooky messages, the secrets, the things that reveal themselves along the way. There's a lot to discover in this one, and it's just quite well detailed. Oh, that's not good. Does anybody else have a really bad feeling about this? Oh, I know I do. But at least now you get to see a little bit of the water. Yeah, it really is quite lovely. You know, it's just such a bizarre set of games. It really is. To have these thoughts come alive in this way, I think it's just really, really fascinating and certainly worthwhile to discover something a little bit, you know, different, something a little bit special. Oh, look at that. You're protected from that creature thingy. Oh, definitely great. I just love the sense of this, like, overgrown, lost environment that you're stepping foot into and seeing. Like, I think this is kind of lovely. And it's also just a very different setting from the other one. I think you're maybe thrown in with the knowledge of the first game a little bit more, and they're sort of like, here's this new scenario, just get at it and have a good time, and I think that works efficiently well for this one as you go about exploring and battling and, you know, kind of taking in the lands of Rapture. Just like I said, it's quite lovely. It's very wonderful. And it's just such a distinct world that you get to take in. So cool. So many surprises along the way, too. I mean, this water walk is just kind of a really good, almost showcase of what this place is like. Hello there. But hopefully we'll be able to decompress a little bit as not to sit out in the water too long. I don't know, it's just, there's something about these games that's so intriguing and so exciting. Of course, myself being fully into Bioshock Infinite the most out of all of them, I truly do love that particular experience and what it has to offer. But yeah, these other ones, they're great as well, and I mean, they all load fast. They look quite beautiful in terms of the details and the environment, and what it has to offer. So with that, I think Bioshock 2 is a really
There's
worthwhile
Templar.
entry if you're
You arrive
returning or
as the
maybe
little one
checking it
said you
out for the
would.
first time. I think
Come
you'll
upstairs to the ticket booth,
definitely like what
and I
this
will
one
offer
has to
what I know
offer.
of you.
Okay, and I think you'll find the story and where things get revealed to be quite intriguing, and definitely a little bit surprising too, because every Bioshock does its own little weird quirky thing with its action, and I think that makes it a little bit fun to jump into.